Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today this is Gundam Log number 37. Now today, this Gundam Log is not going to be about a certain kit I'm currently building. I'm not building anything, but there's a new topic or issue that I would like to deal with. Now recently, a lot of people or people who are getting into Gunpla are posting a lot of questions on the Gunpla groups I am really active in on Facebook, and they are really struggling to what to do or what to get basically. And here's some stuff that I would like to you guys, or anybody who's getting into Gunpla or who is always having trouble on thinking or guessing what to get. Now, a lot of questions, the most common question, which is not the best question or kind of the some people find it irritating, is that some people just post questions on Facebook of what Gunpla kit should I get. Now this question itself is a very problematic, to be honest. You just can't ask someone to recommend you like a certain kit unless you give them a lot of details. Now, for those who are getting into Gunpla, you guys need to consider something before asking. Now, if you're getting into Gunpla and you want to try building a Gunpla or buy a Gunpla, try to think of what you want or what did you like. So basically, if you got into Gunpla by watching manga or watching anime or even reading a novel, try to figure out or try to think of what mobile suit or what Gundam got in that made you get into the hobby. So instead of asking what to get, I suggest you guys to rather ask people or yourself, what do you want? What do you like? Because in Gunpla, there's a lot of stuff that you need to consider, because not every single kit out there is a Gundam. There's grunt suits, there are high mobility types, there are mass production types. There's a bunch of categories. So try to think. So basically, Gunpla is not a really cheap hobby. I will admit that, but that doesn't mean you should be spending your money on every single kit out there. Since it is an expensive hobby, I suggest you guys to try to think or plan your purchases, because I see a lot of people buying kits just because it's Gunpla or it's just there at the shop. Now, that's not the best attitude to have in this hobby. Now, back to my first question or my first topic of what do you guys should get. Now, please do not ask in that format, because it's pretty difficult to just suggest a certain kit, because we're not really sure that you guys want a big kit, a small kit even, or do you guys want a Gundam, a mono eye, or visor? We don't know that. So please at least try to think. I mean, okay, since you guys have no knowledge, okay, fine, but at least if you have access to the internet, the fact that you have Facebook means that you have the internet. So try to search on Gundam Wiki or any Gundam related sources out there. There's YouTube, there's Dalong, there's Gundam Guy, Gundam Wiki, Mock. There's a lot of stuff out there, so try to consider that. So number one is that try to think. Well, for me, I would recommend you guys to think of what do you guys like or what do you want. And then number two is think of the grade, because in Gunpla there's just not a grade. There's multiple grades. There's the modern ones are the SD, HG, RG, MG, and PG. And of course, of course, there's Reborn's 100, but whatever. You need to think of the size. Do you want something big, small, medium size, super small, big? So try to consider that as well, at least, because not every grade has all the mobile suits out there. So yeah, I've been recently been contacting with a certain person on Facebook, and he has been struggling to think of what master grade should he get. Now, of course, it's important to get a master grade that you actually want or like, because since it is your first kit. But at the same time, if it's your first kit, you want to get a good impression. Now, here's my second topic: is first impressions on kits. Now, when YouTubers like me or reviewers on Gunpla, there's a reason that we always end the review with saying this is recommended for everybody, or this is recommended for beginners, or not recommended for beginners. There's a reason that we're saying that, and usually the reason for me, I say that not because of the build, but it's about the first impression. Now here's the point where I would like to mention my experience. Now, the official high grade Universal Century kit that I actually got was the high grade Universal Century Hyzak from the Zeta Gundam series. And that was like when I was in elementary school. It was technically my first official high grade Universal Century kit. Back then I would only build the no grades 1 to 144 scale or no grade 1 to 100 scale Wing Gundam kits or G Gundam kits. That was my usual build. And then I got my first high grade Universal Century kit. I did enjoy the build, but at the same time I really hated that kit. Because there were some details that I did not like. There was like pieces falling off, and it wasn't able to pose properly. I had parts break off. So yeah, that left me a very, very bad impression. So at that point, I was expecting any other high grade or 1 to 44 scales to be like that. And after that, ever since that, I never went to that. So after when I came back to Korea after my 2 years of living in the Philippines, I went for master grades now. And the first master grade I got, well, okay, technically it was my second, was the Marasai, Master Grade Marasai, and the Master Grade Zeta Gundam 2.0. I bought those together. At the same time, I was kind of worried because back then, when I was in middle school, my sister bought me a Master Grade Foz, the white version. I enjoyed building it. However, at the same time, when I finished the kit, it was really, really frustrating because it was big, which was fine by me, but it could not move. It was a brick, and there's like pieces falling off. So once again, it didn't leave. Since I did enjoy the build, it didn't leave me a terrible impression, but it sort of got me worried. But I went ahead and then tried to give it one more chance. And I bought the Master Grade Marasai and Zeta Gundam 2.0. And when I built the Marasai, I was really impressed. Basically, there's nothing falling off. There's like a lot of posability. I love the design. And that's the point where my idea of my first impressions of Master Grades changed. It was locked into place where Master Grades are really amazing kits. So I went for Master Grades for a few years now from then. And then basically, at a certain point, I had a bunch of Master Grades, and now there were no more Master Grades for me to get for a while. And then one day, I decided to go for high grade Universal Century. Basically, I decided to give it one more chance. Because back then, the technology was old, and there was a Hyzak and whatever. And I decided to give it one more chance because it's been more than 5 to 6. It's been more than 8 years since then. I think it's even more than 10 years since then. So I decided, hey, maybe who knows. So I went on and bought my first high grade Universal Century, which was the by Arland Custom, and I was just amazed. The quality was way different, and I even loved the bulk and size. So that's the point where my first impression of terrible high grade Universal Century has changed from terrible to good and amazing. And this is important of first impressions. So basically, those who are like trying to get their first high grade, real grade, master grade, whatever, the reason why we all suggest certain kits is because to you guys to get a good first impression. So of course, it's fine at the end. It's basically your choice of what to get. However, there's a reason that we try to suggest this kit and that kit, and actually is trying to stop you guys from buying a certain kit. Because we don't want you guys to have a bad impression. So yeah, there's a reason. So basically, if an expert or at least some veterans are telling you some stuff, try to like consider it, okay? And then back to my first topic, what do you get? Now, those who know me, I only go for a certain theme, and I have a strict rule of not buying the same kits. Yeah, having a rule like that could be a really helpful way on you guys how to choose a certain kit. For me, my rule is usually to focus on mass production types or grunt suits that are from the Federation. So now that's my main rule. But time to time, I do buy Gundams at the same time, but not like too mainstream. Basically, I'm not like one of those people who will get every single variant of the Exia, for example. That's not my style. And my rules is not to get the same variants, whatever. And if I do get Xeon kits, I did announce that if I do get any high-grade Universal Century Xeon kits, they are going to be aquatic or amphibious. So basically putting that, I have a certain scene going on. And basically it makes me avoid buying kits that I don't actually want, or just it prevents impulsive purchases. Now those who are veterans, I'm pretty sure you guys have a reason for buying a certain kit suddenly, so that's okay. But for beginners, you guys it's an expensive hobby, so you guys want to get what you pay for. So you want to get the best out of what you get. Now recently I got 3 of these kits, and then here's another topic I would like to talk about. I see a lot of people asking, like, they post a certain kit or picture of a kit and asking if is this kit or good or bad, asking should I get this kit, or should I get this or that. Now here's the thing that I would like to get you guys to consider. Ask yourself, do you want that kit? Or are you just trying to get it because it's at the shop, or it's just because it's just there, or it's because it's a gunpla? Now that's not the best attitude I just mentioned. If you're going to enjoy this hobby, you should at least know what you're buying. So what I do is, before I buy a kit, I try to go research. I usually watch reviews. I even go to Gundam Wiki to read its historical backgrounds, its technological backgrounds. So try to gain some knowledge on the kits that you're trying to get. Not just hoard, or don't try to like hoard everything you can get. Try to think and then know what you're trying to get. That's the more fun of it. The more you know, the more fun you will obtain. These kits, I didn't buy them out of impulse. They all have a certain theme, and I'm trying to go for that theme as well. Yeah, so that's it. That was the issue that I would like to deal with. So basically, to end this topic, I would like to just tell you guys one more time, is to think or ask yourself of, do you actually want this kit, or what do I actually like? Try to think of that first instead of just asking questions, because to be honest, not many questions has been answered properly in those kind of questions on Facebook. So that's my honest opinion. Sorry if I went a little bit too serious on this, but yeah, at a certain point, if you're at a certain age, you should at least know what you want. Yeah, that's my topic of the day. Now, another thing, you saw these 3. Yes, I know I am going to make a review, but I'm trying to get I'm trying to get at least one more aquatic kit soon, so I can start off with these. I'm not sure which one to start off with, but yeah, you guys can expect a review of all these kits from me in the future. Also, a lot of people don't know I have master grade reviews. Look at my old videos. All of them I started as master grade reviews. So yeah, I have more reviews than you guys think in my channel. So yeah, please stay tuned. I try to check them out as well. Well, yeah, thank you for watching this Gundam Log. If you found this informative or helpful, please like my videos and actually subscribe to my channel. Alright, I still have more kits to build and buy and make reviews of, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!